This Instagram carousel ad strategy gets my clients hundreds of leads every week, and it is one of the easiest and fastest types of ads to make. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the strategy in detail so you can use it too. It's the same strategy that I used to scale my business to 7 figures. This was actually the first really profitable ad that I ran. I'll have a screenshot down below and you can see it. So I spent $36,000 on this single ad, okay? And it brought in $194,723, which is a 5.4x return on ad spend. I've got another client of mine who is a gut health coach who is getting $5 leads. And these ads are for to learn more, to work with her. And she is booking $50 to $100 calls consistently with this exact approach. And it's the same approach we've used with Tiffany, who you can see down below. We did a whole client interview if you want to watch it. And we helped her implement this to go from 10K months to 50K months using this carousel strategy. So let me go ahead and jump on in and get started. All right, so I've got my ads manager pulled up, but I want to do a bigger deep dive just on my ad first. Because again, this was my first like really OG ad that took me to 7 figures, right? And this thing crushed for a very, very long time. You can see this is the maximum. It's no longer running, ads always die. But this thing, I was kind of one of the OGs to do this carousel/Twitter ad style, and it crushed. All right, we were talking $17.88 for opt-ins, right? Cost per book call was $252. And we booked a ton of calls and signed about 31 high ticket coaching clients from this offer. And again, this was really what kicked off my journey into the online coaching space to get me to that level. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm just gonna show you this ad, and I'll show you how it was designed, what I did with it, and then I'll share with you guys how to make this on your own. I'll give you guys some templates you can use as well, and I'll tell you why I like them so much. All right, so here is the original OG ad that I ran, okay? Again, this died, so feel free, you can try to copy it. It's not gonna work for you, it's died. All ads will see timelines that they work really well, and over time they just fatigue away, okay? So this was an OG ad, right? In 6 months, this just says, this is the outcome that I achieved when I started my business, right? And I was starting to market that I help coaches do the same, right? So in 6 months, I grew my online coaching business from 20K a year to 20K a month with this simple 5-step process. Okay, so very clearly, time duration, here's what I did, right? And this is exactly what my ideal client at the time wanted. Now we help more people who are already doing 20K a month. So again, I don't run this ad anymore. And then I just go through and I share with them, here's what I did, right? Step 1. Right? Offer creation. I had one solution for one problem. I focused on solving one specific problem for one specific niche, which allowed me to create predictable results for my clients. Step 2, I installed a conversational sales process. I learned how to book calls in the DMs in an authentic way, and I created a sales script that didn't feel salesy. Okay, again, overcoming an objection that a lot of beginner coaches have. Third step is I started booking 1 to 2 calls per day with Instagram posts and stories. Without a big following, again, another common objection. I figured out what content to create that turns strangers into followers and followers into paying clients. Step 4 is I learned how to turn $1 into $5 with paid ads. Once I had about $1,000 a month to spend, I learned how to turn it into $5,000. Now, I no longer needed to hunt for clients because they were coming to me. Again, what my ideal client wanted at the time. I tracked data and I ran my business by the numbers. Once I learned this skill, the business started working for me. This turned my side hustle into a full-time career, which allows me to travel and work remotely. Again, that's the outcome that this demographic wanted. If you feel stuck and you want more online coaching clients, I created a free training that teaches you these 5 steps so you can sign 10 clients in 30 days. Click the link to get access. That was a simple carousel ad. It just, again, hook slide that called out my ideal client and said, hey, do you want this outcome at the time? And then I just gave them value in 5 slides of here's what I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to see more? Click the link to watch the training below. Watch how it all works, right? That was the entire ad, all right? Now, let me transition back over to my iPad and we'll kind of keep going on this. And then I'm going to come back to the computer and show you guys how to make these, okay? All right, so I'm over in my iPad over here. I've protected my client's identity because in the past, I showed the entire ad, it showed them, and we had people copy them. So right now you'll see that it's got my face on all of here. And that's because I don't want you guys stealing my clients' works because we help them write these ads and I just want to protect them, okay? So again, there are really 3 main components to make these things work. Okay. Number 1 is a hook slide. Okay. So this first one, as you guys saw before, is in 6 months. So time duration, right? So I'll just move over here, time duration. And then we have, next one is outcome. Here's what I did. And then I made a very simple, like a CTA of like, here's a simple way to learn how to do it. And I use numbers for this. So then there's like step, by step. That was the format of this one. The hook slide should just capture attention with a time duration, outcome, and step-by-step process. Now, this same thing you could apply could also be, if you're a fitness coach, in 6 months, I put on X amount of muscle, right? Here are the 5 exercises that help me do that. That could work well. Now, the big thing that you want to be aware of with this hook slide is that it needs to call out your ideal avatar. So you can see in this one, this is a beginner, right? So this outcome here, 20K a year to 20K per month, is calling out beginners. And one of the reasons that I killed this ad is because I didn't realize this, but I was attracting people who were making 20K a year. Okay. And those people don't have as much money to invest in ads and to help. And also I really like systems and scaling and stuff like that. And we were attracting broke people. And again, this worked until it didn't. And the reason over time is, as you guys already know, targeting has changed a whole lot in the advertising world with Andromeda, but I even experienced this in November 2023, 2024, when we were really trying to scale this, was that I called out people who only made 20K a year. So who was I getting on the calls? I was getting broke people on the calls. And as we kept increasing our prices, we originally started our offer at like 5K, and that was fine. 5K, people could affirm it, but then we kept increasing it. Now we're closer to 10K plus, and I was getting people who making 20K a year. They're not going to give me 10K, half of that. No way, right? I mean, all right, some will, but I want to share that with you of like a lesson I learned. But looking back at this worked because I was trying to attract beginners. But then as I ascended, it didn't. So coming back to you, if you help men build muscle, who are those men? Who are those people? Make sure that you call them out in this initial hook slide so the right people come through. Now, let me share with you guys another one. Now, this one here is more emotional. So this is for the personal development coaches that we work with, but we help them write this one. It's very common for high achieving women, okay? There's the call out, high achieving women to fail in relationships. Ooh, fail. The negative word fail in relationships. That brings up a lot, right? So we have a very clear call out, and then we have a very common pattern that they're experiencing that creates a lot of pain in their life. And then she goes into saying, here's why. Now, her value slides were typically, like I just kind of shared with you, my original one, was I gave 5 actionable tips. For this one over here, she actually didn't give tips. She kind of told a story. And she told a story, again, I'm not gonna share it with you because I don't want you guys to copy her, but she covered why, women were failing in relationships. A lot of it had to do with what they learned, a lot of the personal development stuff, and saying, hey, it's not your fault. This is just what you learned in childhood, X, Y, Z. And then there's a CTA at the end. So they don't all have to be, here's 5 tips, here's 5 exercises, here's 5 things. You can also pull people in that value section of the carousel that really hits on emotion and tells a story. That stuff can hit hard as long as you have a good hook slide that, again, calls out the right people. Now, third one I've got over here, again, this is from one of our gut health coaches. Again, looks like me, but it's not me. Okay. You've seen doctors, done tests, and still don't know why your gut is fighting you. Okay. Again, this is the problem. Your gut is fighting you. If you're bloated, in pain, and inflamed, these 5 tests look places standard labs don't. Okay. So we helped her write this one. Again, calling out the ideal avatar, somebody whose gut is fighting them. Right? They're bloated, in pain, inflamed. And then it goes on in these next, and again, the number 5, so it kind of gives actionable stuff. And it goes over into the 5 tests that people don't typically do. But if they did do, they would have much better clarity on what it is they do. And then our CTA at the end was, if you guys want help with these tests or figuring out what test is right for you, DM me this keyword. That one is crushing it, okay? Crushing it, right? So step 2, again, to all this, we've got to have the hook slide at start that calls out your ideal avatar, brings the right people in. Anytime you can use numbers or time durations or tell, emotionally pull people in, it can work really well. Then we follow that up with giving 5 steps, tips, or like I shared before, it could also be a story, right? A storytelling, right? That's emotional. Storytelling, emotion. Now, the key with these is to really, I'm going to say earn, right? We want to earn the CTA. Okay. So earn the CTA. Meaning that if you're trying to ask someone to follow you, we do this a lot for boosted posts to get more followers that we can then DM. Earn the follow, build the trust, earn it, and be like, holy cow, this person just gave me so much information. This is so valuable. Follow, right? Again, earn the CTA. You got so vulnerable in your emotional storytelling that I have to know, because you said everything that I currently feel. I need to know the solution because, man, you or me, you're speaking to me, right? And then again, if it's like, 5 tests, 5 exercises, give out why those tests are good. Give out why those exercises work so well. And then again, have a CTA that complements that really, really well, okay? And then finally, you're gonna have a simple CTA slide at the end of these. So these are the 3 different CTA styles that you'll typically see. Again, mine was for a conversion ad. So you can see this here. It's promoting a free training that is giving the outcome of helping 5 steps to help people sign 10 new clients in 30 days. Very specific outcome in a specific time duration, right? And the CTA is to click the link, right? Once they go here, they would go to an opt-in page, right? Opt-in page, and then they would go to a VSL, and then they would go to book a call, okay? Again, super simple. The second one over here, it could also be driven to the DMs, whether it's for a direct offer or it could also still be for a free training. So this one over here is for the gut health coach. I've helped 100 high performers uncover the root cause of chronic gut issues using advanced functional testing. If you're ready to stop guessing and start healing, again, this is what people feel, I feel like I'm just guessing, right? And start healing, DM me a relief to get started. So all these people, again, this person's getting $5 leads and she's able to book $50 to $100 calls from all those people that are coming in and help them. So they're all DMing the word relief to learn more about what it is that she does. But they're coming in hot because, again, this all matches, again, the avatar at the start, right? The avatar being like, you've seen doctors, you've done tests, and still don't know why your gut is fighting you. Now, real quick, I'm gonna come back to this because I think this is valuable and I just saw it as I read it. But you've seen doctors, you've done tests. You see that line there. That right there is calling out people who've already spent money, okay? They've already spent money on trying to get the solution versus not, right? So just notice that subtlety there, but we're calling out people who have money. Over here, again, high achieving women, okay? Again, this can be overused. This was done tastefully very well, but you don't just want to call out busy entrepreneurs. Don't do that. This one was actually done really well because high achieving women actually do feel in relationships. So it called out a specific avatar. And then again, mine, it's fine for beginners, but it didn't allow me to scale and reach the people I wanted because I was calling out people who were making, $20K a year. Okay, not good. Okay, yeah, so coming back over here, they would DM that person the keyword, and then they'd have some back and forth in the DMs, book a call, and sign them as a client. Now, we've actually started to pair this one up. Actually, I think both of these coaches we've paired up with a chatbot. Okay, so a chatbot, and the chatbot, it handles all of the DMs and books a call for them. Still requires a little bit of a human just to manage it, to make sure that it's not like messing up. But this person's able to get anywhere from 10 to 25 at a pretty low budget, like leads per day. Okay, and that can turn into 1 to 2 calls pretty much per day. Right? Because it's more direct, we're looking at like a 10-ish, ideally like 10% lead to book call ratio, but anywhere from like 5 to 10%, it's like pretty standard. And then the last one that has always worked really well for like top of funnel is just having the final CTA slide over here to learn more about how to do this thing, give me a follow. And again, I hid this for the client, but then this over here would be your Instagram profile. This would be a screenshot of your Instagram profile, and you can just put it up on a Canvas slide just like that. But again, I deleted that, but you can still see that there's a follow button right there. You're showing them, again, the action you want them to take. Right here, you're telling them to DM you the action you want them to take. Over here, pointing to the link to the action that you want to take, okay? Now, these things are awesome. The reason I like Carousel ads so much and they work so well is this. You don't have to be good on camera to make these things pop. And also there's something to be said about the power of words. Like if I see something and it's speaking to me, directly to me, and you stop and capture my attention, I want to swipe through and see what else there is. So what I found is that these ads work really well for cold traffic leads, for people that don't know, like, and trust you. Because if I see a bunch of videos that are popping up on my feed, it's like, hey, busy entrepreneur, hey, online coaches, hey, blah, blah, blah. Like everyone's doing that. So it doesn't pop as well. Personally, I do a lot of video ads for like retargeting, but I actually don't run as much to cold traffic. Now, that's me. And a lot of our clients do run video ads to cold traffic, but I've just found personally that I scale a lot better with static image ads for cold traffic because I can just share either the offer or the hook in text. And if they don't already have a connection or relationship with me, they can still stop the scroll and be like, let me learn more, right? Let me now transition back to my computer. And I'm gonna show you guys how to make this, and I'll give you a template you can use as well at the end, all right? So we're back on my computer here, and what I wanna show you guys is the best place to find like the hooks, right? Because we're looking at, all right, what are the hooks we're gonna make? What's the body we're gonna make? CTAs, just follow what I gave you here. But the best way to determine like, what should I make my hook based off of? Well, guys, go look on Twitter. There are like so many proven hooks that people post every single day. So go to Twitter, go to places where written content already exists and do some research here, find hooks that are winning and repurpose in your own tone. Don't just copy and paste anything word for word. Do not. I've had people do this who watch my videos and will replicate it. And it hurts the entire industry when people just copy and paste. That's plagiarizing. Don't do it. Okay. So we're going to come over here and there's a couple people I'll share with you guys of who I check out based off of your industry. So if you're doing business coaching and you help people with systems, Matt Gray is really awesome at Twitter. This is one of his main platforms. So I could go to Matt Gray's stuff if I was a business coach and helping people with systems. He's got so many, right? And I can go through here and just look for, what are big ideas or what are ways that he phrased it, ways that it's structured so I can replicate my own version of that, right? So going through and making a library, you can do this. Like, I think for me, I've only followed maybe a couple hundred people. I follow 107 people. Okay. So, and I do that specifically for looking for people for inspiration for ads, for carousels, because this can also be applied to organic, right? So you can spend some time here going through content creators that already make written content. Okay. So example for those who are fitness coaches, man, this guy crushes it on Twitter. His name's Dan Go, right? He crushes it on actually multiple platforms. He's a health performance coach for entrepreneurs. And he has some awesome hooks. 7 science-based exercises I'm using to reverse aging. That is a solid hook, right? That's a solid hook. And it got 85,000 views. So just like you would do content research, if you're not doing that, you should be doing that. That's for everything. Same thing with ads, is we can go through here and I can go through and see, what of these are getting really good engagement. Here's another one. If you want to lose 20 pounds of fat while adding muscle by the end of the year, copy this. Okay, that's another one that's got 62,000, right? And if I keep scrolling through, this one's got 89,000, right? That one, I'm looking more for carousels, right? Or carousels or threads. So like this one over here is just a single post, but this one over here, I imagine, actually this one's just a post too, but you could still use that same concept and then have 7 carousels right after, right? So what I'm trying to encourage you guys to do is to go through, do research, see what topics have already done well, right? And replicate versions of that. Now, if you're doing fitness, you can't do before and after posts and ads. You can't do that. Yeah, again, this one didn't do that great. This one looks like it's probably more of a case study type of one. These ones always crush for him, right? I'm 45, here are 8 things no one tells you about working out as you get older. Crushes it, right? So again, look for inspiration from other people that are already writing. Make a list of like 5 or 10 people in your niche that create similar content. And again, do not copy them word for word, but see the trends in there or the hooks that you're using. And can you repurpose that and turn that into a post of your own? Now, how to make these ads, right? There's a couple things you can do. Number one is you can just make these in Canva. This is what I will have linked below. There'll be a template to this. You can just have it. And inside of here, you'll get the same exact one that I've used. This is a different variation of the one that I shared with you guys, but you can use Canva. Very, very simple. Another version you can do is you could just post directly to X, okay? So you can come over here and you can just write a post in X, write it all out, right? And then you can use a tool like Tweet Hunter. I made so many of my ads from Tweet Hunter. Okay, so many. I can just come over here and then I can just, if this was the post I'm gonna use, I can just copy the link, go over to Tweet Hunter, post it, and take a screenshot. And then boom, here's the first slide, right? Again, this one doesn't look very good. There's too much copy on there. I probably wouldn't use it, but I could do that. Too much copy on here. Not a good one, right? Typically for those hook slides, as you guys saw when I first started, they're like 2 to 3 lines long. This one's 5 lines long. too much. I would not run this as an ad, right? But I could do this. I can change the color of this and go lights out, which is black. I can download it, good to go, right? You can do that. You can even post this thing and just like push copy URL on your phone. And I made another video on this, easy way to make ads. You can just copy this link on your phone and share it to your Instagram stories and then download it from there. Okay. If you want to see that, you can go watch that other video. I'm not gonna go into that in too much detail. Again, there's so many ways to make these things. You could just even take a screenshot on Twitter on the phone itself, right? And then recently, one of the apps that I've been using to make carousel ads that have that stand out a little bit more than the Twitter style ones is Gamma. Okay, Gamma is an AI software, and like here's an example of one that I made. I'll just kind of go through it, right? So 7 reasons why you should run Instagram ads. So this is a very unaware ad for people who haven't ran ads yet. And then I just go over, there's 7 reasons why, organic is dying. This is why, right? This is why, right? And then it kind of goes over to the numbers. Here's what you should do. And then at the end, we help coaches implement this. Here's some case studies that we did. And here's how we help. We'll write the ads for you. We'll build you an AI booking bot or help you build an AI booking bot so you can book calls in the DMs. And then we'll give you daily content prompts so you don't have to think about what to post. This isn't a course. We build everything with you. Click the link to watch a training covering how it works and apply today. Okay. I love this. If you guys do want to use Gamma, it's a great software. You can just create new and then paste in your text. Right? So you can paste in the entire text and then you can just select over here on the top, social. And if you want it to be square, great. If you wanted to do portraits, great. But you could just go back and forth and copy and paste whatever you've got inside of here. The only kind of downside is you would have to kind of go through here, and I would probably take this, plug it into ChatGPT and say, give me all the copy in here that doesn't have like, the time and date stamps and engagement and stuff like that. So I could just copy all of this once I had all of it. I'm not gonna do this in this video. Go to ChatGPT, paste it in there, and then say, hey, give me just the main text and bullets and benefits and everything. And then it would all be in here, right? And then I would just say, hey, I want you to preserve the exact text. Go to prompt editor. And again, this is gonna look super weird because I didn't update it, right? But then I could just go here and I could do card by card. And all I have to do here is make like little dashes. And then I can just have for each of these their own carousel card, right? I'm just gonna do 2 of them to kind of show you what this looks like. And then I'll just put, generate. Now I've got some themes that I already use. So I've just like used this a lot. So I've got a black theme and I have a white theme, and I'm gonna go ahead and just push generate. You'll kind of see it. Again, it's gonna need a little bit of doctoring up for sure. Yeah, so like, again, I should have had that first one done, but it's gonna do the whole thing, right? It's gonna update it. So, you may wanna adjust it and change it. But again, like once you kind of have your style, it's super easy to edit. And for me, this stuff looks way better than like if I was to try to make it myself, right? So 11 hooks that will make your content unmissable and unforgettable. Use these to improve your engagement. And again, I put too much copy in here, but I would just take that. I would probably delete that. That doesn't look very good, right? And then boom, like again, this one doesn't call it my ideal client. If I want to change the size of this, I can just go H1, right? And I can kind of just play with it. But again, this is one of the ones that I've actually looks way better. I really like Gamma. So like if you guys look at a lot of my current stuff on Instagram, we use Gamma. So I will write them, or we'll take a YouTube video, I'll plug it into Poppy AI, then it'll make the carousel slides, and my marketing manager does all this. She then takes all that copy over here, posts it in Gamma, and then boom, within a couple minutes, we have really good graphic visuals that look really, really solid. All right, so that's what I got for this video. If you guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the next video is gonna be on how to make just very simple standard tweets, right? That are just like tweets or notes app ads. And again, this will kind of go off of like how to make these things better. But again, those are another style of ads that I've seen a lot of success with. So if you guys wanna check that out, go watch this next video and I'll see you guys soon.